Oh, yeah, there's a lot of people that jumped on already. Okay, wow, okay. Hey, guys. Um, I'm Carol, back from eye surgery, back from having a cold. I'm hopefully almost at 100%. Um, you know what? When you have a cold, it's amazing to me how much, to put it bluntly, snot and phlegm you can accumulate in your body. It's like, how is there room in my skull for my brain? With everything that I blew out of my nose, it's incredible. Where's it come from? Wow. Okay, but anyway, today we are going to demo the whole country caboodle tins. I absolutely adore these. I showed them to Gloria about a week and a half before she went to Quilt Market, and she loved them, but she was tied up with a bunch of other things and looking forward to Quilt Market. And lo and behold, when she gets to Quilt Market, there's Leanne Anderson and the whole country caboodle, and they had everything on display, and I think Gloria bought everything, which I'm so glad because I adore these. This is the November tin, which is precious. It's got the pumpkins on it. There we go. They stitched out beautifully for me. There is the lid. The only thing that I don't like is when you pick it up, this kind of flops down a little bit. To attach the lid, I used adhesive Velcro. It was really easy to use. You just put the sticky part down here and the loopy part on the lid, and it stays. So I think I'm going to attach a couple of pieces to this part to keep it, because when you pick it up, I don't like it flopping down like that. But I absolutely love these. Here is a picture of December's, which is the Santa and the reindeer. The reindeer looks goofy because he included in the kit are little buttons for his eyes and a big button for his nose. This is the January one with the snowmen, and I did the snowflake for the lid. We're going to go over tracing the templates for both the wrap and the lid. Today, we're going to applique the lid, which includes the Rudolph for this piece, and we're going to bind it also. In your kit, you will receive this sheet here, which is a single sheet of paper, which includes, I'm not going to open it up because the download code is inside, but this piece will include your download code. You'll get a pamphlet, or a little sheets like this that include all of the finishing instructions. They look intense, but don't worry. We're going to go over it. I'm going to show you everything that I've done, and we've got some little tips and tricks to help you, in case you don't like binding, you better get used to it. Or, you have problems with binding. I'll give you my tips and tricks. Also in the kit, you will find a little package with the applique pieces. The applique pieces are going to be on a sheet, and they're kind of semi-attached to the sheet. If you turn it over to the back, they'll be attached in 2 or 3 spots to the back of the sheet. You just need to clip those and then pull the applique off. Be really careful with Rudolph because there are 6 eyes. There's 2 for his eyes here on the wrap. There's 2 for his eyes on the lid, and then there's a connected eyes here for the Santa. If you noticed, I put blush on the Santa and the snowman cheeks. You can just use makeup. Dip your little finger in your powder blush and then just rub it there, and it's, it just adds so much to it. The snowman I added, on the cheeks of the little guys peeking out here, and on the big guy. It's adorable. This one, the snowman one, is finished because their eyes are stitched. And I don't think there are any buttons for, oh, there might be a button for that. There's a snowflake button. For the Santa one, like I said, there are buttons for the eyes and a big one for the nose, and that's in a separate little package too, right here. So, be careful with everything that's in your package. And I hope I didn't lose my eyes for the Rudolph. No, I didn't, and his little scarf. Okay, I'm going to pull them out of here now and set them right here, maybe. They already have the, I don't know if they used Heat and Bond on the back of these or Hot Fix. Either or. It's, they both work. We're going to set that aside. We're going to set the snowman aside if you guys are all done gawking at it, because I just love it. I like the texture. This is, it feels like a wool felt. It's kind of got a little bit of like a little rough finish to it. I'm not sure that it's, the regular felt. It's really pretty. If you look here on the Santa, when you stitch the details in his beard, it kind of really pops. All right. So we're going to set that aside, and we're going to work on the lid for the snowman. We're going to do the embroidery. Included also in your package is a separate sheet like this. There's a separate sheet. This one is for the Cookies for Santa canister lid, the embroidery steps. And there's also another sheet that's Cookies for Santa, the wrap portion. So just follow those instructions. And on the big, you'll also get another. No, you won't. I explained this already. You'll get this with the instructions for building the wrap. But pay very close attention to the cutting instructions. In your kit, you'll get a 1/4 yard each for both your background, which is this fabric, and a 1/4 yard of the binding fabric. In the snowman's case, you'll get some teal flannel, and in Santa's case, you're going to get this. It kind of feels, and it's like a homespun. That's for the binding. All right, so pay close attention to the cutting instructions. We're going to go ahead and we're going to score our sticky back tearaway, which is what goes in your hoop, to embroider. So let's take this paper off real quick, which is sticking to me. All right, that's not ripping very well. There we go. And the last piece. I downloaded my files onto a USB. You can download them however you like, but to put them in the machine, unless you have, Wi-Fi from your computer to your Radiance or your embroidery machine, you'll have to put it on the USB. I am going to attach the background fabric, which I have cut already into, is this just open? Yep. I have already cut it into a 9 by 9 inch piece according to the instructions. I'm going to press this little crease out in the middle. And there is SF 101 also adhered to the back of this. They say to add the SF 101 to both the background fabric, which I did also here, and the binding. I'm not putting it on the binding. Number one, there's 2 reasons. I think it creates a little bit too much bulk because of the thickness of this when you go to bind it, because you're going to use Bosal. Number 2, some of these have flannel which you used for the binding, that's thick enough in and of itself. It doesn't need SF101. So do yourself a favor and don't put SF101 on the pieces for your binding. It'll make your life a lot easier. But it does go on the background for the main applique. So like I said, this is a 9 by 9 inch piece, and I put my SF101 on it already. So we're going to wing it. We're going to find the middle of this, and after I press creases out, I'm going to add more. I'm going to just press this in half here, and I'm going to press it in half here, and hopefully I can see those marks. Let me do this. Let me fold it in quarters. And then if I lay it here in the hoop, I've got my little divots here to line up to. I'm going to set that there. That lines up. Why isn't this sticky? It's not sticky. I don't know what I picked up. I thought it was sticky back. Maybe they just call for regular tearaway. What did I do? It doesn't matter. We're going to have to open this back up and put our trace and cut out, yada, 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 trace, yada, yada, yada. Download code, da, 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 da. Place onto the singles. Okay. We're going to open this back up and just insert, or I thought I used sticky back, which I didn't. And I need my little screwdriver because this is too tight. I might have grabbed sticky back tearaway. I mean, not sticky back tearaway, but regular tearaway. So we're going to kind of center this, hopefully. We're going to be trimming this down, so it's not real critical. Let's put this on. I mean, that looks relatively close enough to me. I always check the back to make sure that I'm lined up here along these edges, or that I'm flush with the bottom. I push this one down a little bit more, and we're good. Okay, going to load it up and move. We're in the Radiance today. All right, I've got my USB in. I'm going to go to embroidery. I'm going to go to the pocket. I'm going to go to the USB. I'm going to go to this file here, which is for the lid. And I'm going to set it and hit embroidery. All right, the first thing it's going to stitch are the antlers, or the placement stitch for the antlers. So let me pull that a little tighter. All right, so we're going to hit the down button. I always go to the +1. I like to see where it goes. Okay, that's where it goes. And then hit the green button. The reason it does the antlers first is because the bottom of the antlers is behind the head of the reindeer. Behind Rudy's head. All right, we're going to take this out, and I'm going to give you guys a tip, and it mentions this also in the directions. Don't assume that if you use a big iron, you're going to get things lined up right, because things shift. Where did I put my little pieces for sewing? Here they are. Oh, do I have the antlers? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Where are the antlers? Oh, praise the Lord. Is there only one there? Oh, there's two. Thank you, Sophie. You know, you think you're organized, but something happens when you walk into this room. It's like everything goes right out the window. Now, I don't know if you can see this well enough, but I use a mini iron because if I try to lay these down and use a regular iron, I can guarantee you that they're going to shift. If you lay them perfectly within those sewing lines, hit it with the mini iron, make sure you're still in the lines, hit it again, work your way down. Like I said, if you try to do this with a regular iron, I can guarantee you that these things are going to shift. Mini iron really, really helps. Okay, and the second one, you guys probably can't see because this green is so dark, but I can see it. Okay, good. I want to place these right within those lines. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, good. Okay, press them out real good. If you look on the one that I've done here, everything's stitched perfectly. It didn't miss any of the lines at all because I used the mini iron to place my appliques. All right, let's move that out of the way of the plastic. Let's load this back in. And then it's going to do the applique. Oh, I accidentally moved this. See, this is it. Stuff happens, man, when you get in this room. You're going to turn it back on, off, and then back on. And then we'll just advance to this. It'll calibrate this again. Waiting, waiting. Hello. I think the room's haunted. You think? I think, yeah. I think so. Okay. It'll recalibrate. Okay, there we go. And yep, good. It's going to resume. It recalled it and we're going to resume. So it's right where it should be. Thank you, Radiance. All right. We're going to move. Okay, great. Now we're going to do the applique on the antlers. And in the case of these patterns, the applique is a blanket stitch, which I love. And it's a nice little, it's perfectly balanced. It's a great blanket stitch. You guys have this cranked up to full speed, huh? Because it's really blowing through this. Jeez. You know what? It's misaligned. If it pulled up, if it recalled, it didn't, they're not. The stitches aren't aligned. When I moved it and it recalibrated, the stitching is off. Finish stitching, please thread. Oh, I forgot that the Radiance tells you to do that. But I'm not changing anything anyway. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it is off. I'm going to leave it because the next portion should be okay. But if you look, I don't want to pull the applique off because it kind of gets messed up if you try to. I'm just going to leave it. I mean, it's noticeable to me because I know what I'm looking for, but I don't think anybody else will notice. I'm going to move these eyes and the collar over to here so I don't lose them. Sophie, remind me they're over here. Got it. Okay, we're going to do the placement stitch now for his head. Hopefully this works out better. Okay. I'm going to use the same color that I used for the antlers. It happens to be number 1545 by, it's an Exquisite. Okay, let's do this and start. Mine, that one is mine that I brought from home. It's a bohin. Yeah, but there are, I think at one point we did sell them. I don't know if we still sell them, but they're easily available. I probably got that one on Amazon like ages ago. All right, now we're going to place this. And let me go over here to the, move this stuff. All right, there and there. There. All right, this is aligned perfectly done here, so I'm going to hit this part with the iron. Okay, and then that looks aligned good. This looks aligned good. Let's hit this up here. This looks good over here. Pull this ear over a little bit. That looks great. His little tufts of hair sticking up there. And then like I said, you know, you guys can see that if you use a big iron, odds are you're not going to get everything aligned right. With satin stitching, you probably would not have to be this particular, but with the blanket stitch, you kind of do. Because of the nature of the blanket stitch, it goes around the edge of the applique and then does a left-right swing. Okay, that's it here, good enough. Okay, now back over to here. Good time for my nose to start running, huh? Oh yeah, much better. Those blanket stitches are perfect. No, just blanket stitches. No satin. Oh, there is satin stitching on his little collar that has his name on it. Rudolph is in the satin stitching. But the whole rest of this design and the majority of all of the designs in the collection are blanket stitched. Mm-hmm. And because they're blanket stitched, you can see that it takes no time at all. Very quick. Okay, the next thing it's going to do is the eyes and the collar. So, you know what? I'm going to switch out threads to a cream as opposed to white. This shade is, actually, it's a glide thread that I chose, not an exquisite, because I had a glide thread that I thought worked better with the color of the eyes and the his little collar. I know you guys don't like regular binding, but I don't know if there is a way to do the other kind of binding on these pieces. Somebody can certainly try it, but I don't mind regular binding. I think if you're a quilter, I keep forgetting that cutter's way in the back. If you're a quilter, you're used to quilting, you're used to regular binding. I never even knew about wraparound binding until I started working here, because I always did it. Okay, we hit okay, and we're good to do the placement stitch now for the eyes, whoops, and the collar. Let me grab these 3 pieces. Put them over there. What did it just do? Oh, check and rethread. Oh, you know what? I forgot to thread my needle. Duh. Is it still back there? Yeah, it is. See, it's this room, man. I'm telling you. It's this room. Okay. There you go. Okay, I'm going to go back and make sure that I'm in, there we go, where I'm supposed to be, because I probably started stitching. Oh, wait. Stop. What is it? Needle up, needle down. This in here. Let me. Did I forget to do it again? success. Let me go back here. Go back, make sure I'm at the beginning of that little stitch. Okay, Carol, thank you. And we got a little knot here. What is it? Well, I don't like that. We're going to rip this out. It says my upper thread is screwed up and I don't like this stitch. It's just a placement stitch, but there's like a little knot there and I don't. I'm just going to take that little tail off and call it a day. But I am going to rethread. The whole thing. Go back to square one. Okay, do that. Sometimes I cut this. It just always seems to be a little long, and then you get long tails on the back. Okay, down. All right, just did one stitch there. That's fine. That's going to do the collar placement stitch. All right, we're going to go place our eyes and our collar. There's a little long thread here I'm going to trim. Okay. Let's put one eyeball on. You with me, Sophie?
Yep.
I'm going to do the collar first. All right. Do that end. So if you put it down right, you can actually see the stitches right along the very edge. You want to make sure you see those. Okay, the eyes are so tiny. All right, where'd I put the eyes? Here we go. That's scary. Don't want to lose them little things. You don't want to sneeze while you're doing this. That's for sure. All right, I had it. Where did it go? There it is. See? It's like, it's crazy. They're tiny. And it's amazing that they get blanket stitches going around these things. Because if I was going to do hand blanket stitching myself around these, it would, yeah, you'd be. And then make sure you get your finger out of the way when you press it. All right, there's one done. Make sure I put the shiny side down. That's the shiny side.
Everybody's saying tweezers.
I know.
You want tweezers?
No, I think I might have brought them. I don't remember. Gotta place it perfectly. I'm really upset about those antlers. I don't know what happened. All right. Collar eyes. They're on. Okay. I don't have to change threads. I'll leave that ecru in there. And we're going to do the blanket stitching. It does a double running stitch around the outside edge first before the blanket stitches. Perfect. Can you guys see how perfect those stitches are? Okay, and we're done stitching. No, we have one more thing to do. I'm sorry, the little Rudolph on his collar. And where are my scissors? Right there. Are you laughing?
Yeah, I'm reading everybody's comments.
Oh, what are they saying?
Carolyn says, I think I like satin stitch. It hides many sins.
Multitude of it, yeah. But
people are asking me to get in front of the camera so they can meet me. So,
well, you've done that before. But yeah,
so.
there we might have a different. I'm sure there are people on that weren't watching then.
Yeah, that's okay.
You gonna come in front?
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll give him a little wave.
You guys will be very envious of her hair. She has the most beautiful head of curly hair that I've ever seen in my life.
I didn't brush it last night, though. I went to bed too late.
Oh, did you go to the dinner?
Yeah.
What did you have to eat?
Oh, filet mignon.
Or did you drink your dinner?
we went to the show.
Yeah.
Tracer was surprisingly really good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, good.
They were fun.
Good.
But we went out afterwards to the Warren downtown.
Okay.
Everybody left. Claire and I were still there.
That's hysterical.
It was fun though. I had a good
What time do you leave?
Good bar?
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, that's like this coming home.
Oh, this is Blitzen. Oh, that's cool. So Rudolph is on the wrap and Blitzen is on the lid. Oh, that's cute. I love that. Yeah. You gotta dot the little I. Chris from My Girlfriend's Quilt Shop collaborated with the Whole Country Caboodle. Chris is the one that digitized these designs. They are available in both the sewing version and the embroidery version. I believe Gloria only got the embroidery version. We've got 3 months in so far, but I imagine she'll get another 3 months, maybe in another couple weeks. But this is so cute. Okay, we have Blitzen, Rudolph and Blitzen. And you'll get the little, there should be 2 buttons. One is a black button, one is a red button. So Rudolph gets the red button for his nose, and Blitzen gets the black button. These little black buttons for their eyes are really tiny. And then there is also a red button that I imagine, if I look at the picture, Carol, goes on in between the holly on Santa, maybe. Let's look at the picture. Yep, that's where it goes. If you look at the main picture, there's a button right there, and that goes in between the holly. And then Santa gets, there should be 6 eyes in here. Santa gets the little black buttons, Rudolph does, and Blitzen does. I think this is adorable. I love it. All right, so what we're going to do next is we are going to take it out of the hoop. We're obviously not going to do the buttons because I would probably hand sew them on. So I got everything out and figured out to do because you can use your machine to put buttons on. So I got that figured out. I could have it done, right? All right, so we're going to move the majority of this stuff out of the way. I'm going to move this, and they're included in your kits are pictures that are exact size. So if you have problems placing things or want to know what order to place things, they're numbered also, which makes it very easy. It's kind of intuitive though when you do it. All right, there's my buttons. I want to make sure I keep all this together. So we're going to put it up here. On the snowman, you get a button you get a snowflake button that goes on his scarf. And when I did him, I used King Star metallic for the stitching on the fringe on his scarf. I just love the snowman too. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this out of the frame. We're going to tear off the stabilizer. All right. I don't bother taking it out of the middle. This would be relatively easy, but I'm just going to leave it. Doesn't matter. This gets tossed. This is already squared up to 9 inches, I believe. We're going to double check, though. I have yeah, it's already squared up to 9, and I think that's what they tell you in the directions. Move that out of the way, my directions. There's the pencil. Here they are. No. Where are my directions? Over here. Because we're getting to the fun part. We're going to attach the bosal, first of all. Hey, Sophie, do you want to come and say hi?
Yeah.
Quick? Okay. Ta-da!
Hi, everybody.
Look at her hair.
I am not dressed
It's
for work
that's
today.
okay. It's okay.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
me.
your nails are pretty too.
Thank you. They're press-ons. You'd never even know.
No,
Right?
no.
They're
I
not
did get
bad.
press-ons, but I'm scared.
Why?
How long do they stay on for you? Pretty long?
Yeah. I have to get different glue because I have dermatitis. Like, whenever you get nail glue and it I don't know why, but it's at Sally Beauty and they stay on for 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Usually.
That's
if
good.
I don't rip
Yeah.
them off.
That's awesome.
Yeah, not bad.
What's
But hi,
that
everybody. What?
Does that change cameras?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Okay, I don't want to know anymore.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
All right. I want to look at comments, so I need my glasses. I got to see what everybody's saying. Oh, hi, Sophie. Hi, Sophie. Hi, Sophie. Yeah. Gorgeous curls. Hi, Sophie. Hi, Sophie. Yeah. This is too stinking cute. Yeah, right, Nadine, isn't it? All right, we're going to get to this lid because we are going to attach the Bosal. I've already cut out a 9-inch piece of Bosal. This is single-sided Bosal. So you want to make sure that the sticky gluey part, this is softer, foamy. This is kind of has, you can see kind of like a warp and a weft on it, and it's a little different textured. That's the sticky side. And we're going to attach this to our block. Okay. Trace and cut out. Okay, we're going to get to this part too in a minute. But we're going to attach the Bosal. All right, so let's just stitch this, and hopefully they left up. They didn't leave the regular iron on. All right, so let's give it a minute to heat up. I just used my little mini iron. It'll take me forever. In your kit, there are 2 templates. And I'm going to explain a little or show you a little trick. I took the page. They put the templates on one sheet. They put the template for the wrap, which you need to cut out the little notches for your handles. If you look here on this tin, you need to cut this out, this little half circle piece. Okay, and that's all you need this piece for, and don't make the mistake that I did. On the back of this is the circle. What I did was I laid this down on my table. This line is dark enough that I traced it on freezer paper. Okay, there's my freezer paper. And then you can just iron that right on this, on your lid to cut your lid out. You don't have to do what they tell you to do. This piece for the wrap, for lining up these portions here, this is all you need it for. So you need from here to wherever. On the first kit that I did, which was the November, that they had lines going down this way, vertically. Don't make the mistake that I almost made of using those as cutting lines, because they're not cutting lines. The only cut line you need are these two these 2 notch pieces. That's it. So I'm going to use this as a template for all of the kits that I make. I don't even need any more from the further kits. I'll use this as my template, and I'll continue to use this that I traced onto freezer paper for my circle for the lid. So that works out great. Easy peasy. Okay, the iron is hot, so we're gonna iron this to the Bosal. If you want, you can quilt this. I quilted the November, the one with the pumpkins on it. I'm not sure if I'm going to quilt the December one. I'm not going to quilt the lid because I want to show you guys the binding, and I don't want to take up time quilting the lid. When you do any of these that have a plaid, like the snowman, you can just quilt it simply by following the white lines in this plaid. They recommend that you start at the applique and work your way out. Okay? Start at the applique, work your way out, go from there to there, here out, and so on and so forth. start at the applique and work your way out. It was so simple on this one. You can see the stitching that I did on the side of this. Really easy. You don't have to do straight line stitching or, you know, a cross hatch. You can do a serpentine stitch, would be cute too. Maybe on the Santa one. You really don't have lines to follow like you do on the plaid for the Santa one. So you can do whatever you want. They also say if you don't want to do stitching all over, you can just quilt after you apply the bow sew 1/4 of an inch away from the applique, and that kind of pops it. Oh, so do what you want. All right, we've got this adhered. I'm going to just give it another shot. All right, we're good. And I'm going to unplug the little iron because I don't want to get burnt. All right, there we go. Now we're going to use, let's move this stuff out of the way. We are going to use our circle. I'm going to fold it in 4s to kind of get the center. And I'm going to determine where the center is on this piece. I'm not going to assume that I've placed my applique in the center. I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to measure. This circle template measures 6.5 inches. All right. If I go over here and I measure 6.5 inches, I'm going from there to about 1/2 of an inch below his neck. And I'm about 1/2 of an inch above his antlers. So that's a good placement. I'm going to grab a friction pen. And I'm going to mark at 3 1/4, which is 1/2 of 6.5. So 3 1/4 is right about there. And that's okay, that'll iron out. I'm going to go this way. And the longest pieces are 3 1/2. There, it's about a little more than 3 1/2, but I'm going to call it 3 1/2. 1/2 of 3 1/2 is 1 3/4. You following me? So we're going to go down to this line. Actually, let's make this, I'm going to follow that. Or we're going to follow that. All right, 6.5. If I put the middle of these at 1 and, wait, I'm confusing myself. Okay, a little over 3 1/2. So it's 1 3/4. This measures 5 1/2. 1/2 of 5 1/2 is what? 1/2 of 5 1/2 is 2 3/4.
Yeah.
All right, 2 3/4 is right here. Let's draw this line out. This is my 1/2. Six and a half. If I go 6 1/2, right. And if I go 6 1/2 this way, I've got 1.5 on this side. And I have a little less than that on this side. So we're at about right here for the middle of this. 1.5. 6.5 is 1.5. Right there. 3.25. So there's my middle here.
Was it difficult to bind around the handle area? Somebody asked. Who did?
No, not for me. But like I said, some of our folks don't like to do binding, and get over it. All right, so we're going to set this down at this point and this point. Fold it over. We're going to match that half and that half. We'll flip this up. I've got about 1/2 inch there.
Did you add that size circle in the date to the design?
No, it's not built into the embroidery files. You have to do it manually, regardless of. All right, so let me see. I'm just verifying that I'm equidistant on all sides. Okay, there's my middle mark there. And, oh, I'm off there.
Did you use vinyl or cord?
For what?
Did you use vinyl or cord?
From your machine shapes? Yeah, if you were that savvy enough, yeah, you sure could. It needs to be, let me look, 6.25. No, that's actually for the wrap. I'm not sure how big the lid piece measures. 6.5? 6.5. So yeah, you need a 6.5 inch circle, and and then you would just cut on that.
And so could you use vinyl or cord for the background?
Yeah, for the background that you're stitching the applique on, yeah. Sure. Okay, I'm just matching up my lines. And this line here, we're good. So we're going to iron the circle down, the waxed paper side down on your piece, and it'll stick. Okay? And then we're going to just cut around it. All right. You learning anything, Sophie?
Am I learning? I always learn.
Okay. I did too. Never too old to learn.
I don't like binding though. I do refuse to do binding.
It's not my favorite thing to do, but I think it's a necessary evil, you know?
I mean, it definitely looks really good.
All right, pull that off, and there it is. All right, now we're going to bind. At this point, you would quilt if you elected to quilt. We're not going to quilt this lid. I'm going to save this template, and I'm going to save this template for the wrap for next week because we're going to do the binding for the wrap next week. It's a little more involved. All right, they say to take the 1/4 yard of binding fabric, and this kind of didn't make sense to me, so I did it my way. They say to take the binding fabric, or the binding fabric, and lay it out. She says to go to your mat and find a 45-degree line and cut on that line after you put the edge, or the edge of the selvage edge of your fabric on the end. Well, that's confusing to me. I mean, I understand it, obviously, but you can just take your ruler. My 45-degree line is this line right here on my cutting board. All right? If I pull this out here, what I'm doing is I have to cut some bias cuts first, because you need bias cuts for this part of your wrap. You need bias cuts for in here because you want that give to spread out there. You need a bias cut for in these pieces here, and you need a bias cut to go around the lid piece. All right, so the first thing they have you do is cut your bias pieces, and this is a process that they tell you to do. Set your selvage edge at the edge of your cutting board and use the 45-degree angle to cut on. That didn't make sense to me. I take a ruler, I find my 45-degree line, which is this line right here, and I'm going to put it on the edge of my fabric. All right? And then make my cut. Then they tell you to match your cut edges. But if you look at the picture in the book, they've got more here than what this cut is giving you. So what I did was, we're going to cut this. That picture just didn't make sense to me. Maybe it does to somebody else, but not to me. But I'm going to make this cut. And I'm going to cut awkwardly. Let's cut this way. All right, there's my bias. This piece is kind of not big enough for me to do anything with, but I am going to cut it to just 1 2.5 inch piece out of it. I'll get a little bit anyway. You probably need 4 to 5 bias cut pieces to do all of your binding for the lid and for these 2 pieces here. So we're going to go ahead, and from here we're going to cut a couple more 2.5 inch slices. These are our bias cuts. From the remainder of this 1/4 yard, we're going to cut, but not today, we're going to cut the binding for the wrap, which is just a regular straight cut, except for, like I said, these 2 cutouts here. Okay, so we're going to do a couple more. And I should have brought a longer ruler, but is there a longer ruler down here? Here, I got one. Oh, I don't need that. I never use that. The gypsy. I don't. All right, so we're going to do 2.5, another 2.5 inch cut. Right here. And we're going to do a couple more. There's one. Where'd my other one go? Here it is. 2. And Steve wanted to demo bias cutting on the AccuQuilt today, but he has a lot of phone calls to make. But we promised to show that in the near future because it's pretty slick. Okay, that's my 3rd one. Let me do one more. I did math. I wanted to know how much bias binding I needed to go around the circumference of the lid. And I had to ask Alexa, and I had to go to YouTube. You need, because pi is involved, you have to take the radius times pi. The radius is, yeah, pi is 3.14159, yada, 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 to infinity. But it comes out that you need 10 inches? No, it's got to be more than 10. 28 inches. I forget. See, I forget. You know what? It's like my brain. It's full of phlegm. All right, so here's another cut. All right, those are my bias strips. The rest of this we're going to use next week when we do the straight strips, yay, for the binding on our wrap. Okay, here's this. All right, here's our little circle lid. Get the rest of this stuff out of the way. Close up my cutter. We're going to pull these in, and I see this is another issue that I have with these kind of cuts too. When I do bias, some people are okay with attaching. Did I leave this on? Yeah, it's on. See, I'd be tempted to put Terrio Magic on this. I like nice, stiff pieces. Why is it curling? Isn't that weird? I think this is homespun. I don't think it's, well, I think it's woven different, homespun. But yeah, look at how it's curling. That's cool. I don't know if it's what I want. But some people are good at taking, and you can't tell if there's the right and the wrong side with this too. Some people are good at taking this piece and attaching it this way, leaving a little point up and offsetting it by about a quarter of an inch down here on the bottom and flipping it and having those match. I don't normally do that. You know, when I do binding, bias binding, I like my folded corner clipper ruler, which means that I typically have a straight edge here, and then I use the folded corner clipper to create my angle, and the seam is already built in. But I'm going to try this. I don't know if I'll be successful. Oh, maybe we could match up those colors, the stripes. I don't know. But not a big fan of this. But we're going to try it. Let's get my glue. Which is clogged, naturally. I need that pen. Glue or a pin? Oh, okay. I just need a pin. I can unclog this. This one might be. Oh, this one's good. Okay, so we're going to put some glue on here. You know me, I like my glue. This fabric seems to be, it's homespun, I think, relatively flimsy, and I'm not real sure. Oh. I put those out too far. Because I have to offset by a little bit. Okay, let's do this. All right. Line this up. Doing that. Leaving that little point dog ear up there. Doing this. All right, and then let's hit it with the iron to set it. And then let's do, see, I worry about it not. Oh, it looks like it might be close enough. See, when you fold it over, even just playing with it, it just doesn't look right to me. This looks good, but we're just gonna wing it. Let's do, maybe there is a right and a wrong side. I don't know. Just put little dots of glue, maybe half an inch or an inch apart. And then we're gonna do this. Okay, then we're gonna, oh, I have to switch out my embroidery foot too. I have to take the embroidery foot off of the machine. So let's do that first. See, I need a helper. I need a helper to do this stuff for me. I think it's more fun when two people do it too, because you bounce stuff off of each other. And why isn't that? I'm not very adept. Mary Lou, Kathy, can you come get this foot off? Oh, wait, I might have gotten it. This foot off for me.
I'll do it for you.
Okay, here. Let me do okay. Can we move, how do you move this, the embroidery unit out of the way?
That button right
Okay, let's do that. Hello?
there. It's supposed to. Wonder why.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've never had to do it.
Raise the presser foot.
Well, you know how you can get it out. Go to sewing. Just go to sewing.
Okay.
And then
There it goes. Okay. All right. See if you can take that foot off for me. And, because my eyes stink. And put that one on for me.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And I'm going to change the foot to my 1/4 inch.
You know what? I need to sit to do this.
Oh,
This is smart. So are you still online?
yep.
So what? Just there.
Yep.
There you go.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right, foot down. Put this foot on. Up. I use my 1/4 inch piecing foot for this. I hope this turns out, because I am not used to. All right, we're going to put the foot down with thread. I've red thread in. I'm just going to leave it. And okay, we're at medium speed. I just changed my stitch length down to 2.0. Was it 2.5? I could have gone into the Q menu because one of the stitches there, the piecing stitch, is automatically 2.0, which I like. That's the one that I have on my machines to start off with, because that's the one I use most often. Foot down. Get that lined up good. I use my 1/4 inch piecing foot almost exclusively when I'm piecing. I love it. All right, now let's see how these worked. Yeah, they're okay. We got to take the dog ears off, but I am going to press the seams. I don't know if I'm going to press them open. They say to open them, but you can see the stretch here. You've really got a good stretch on this fabric. No, I'm going to sew them to the side because I did glue them too, by the way. Now this fabric here, because it's homespun, I would starch it. It's very loose because of the nature of homespun, which means it will actually be relatively easy when we go to do this, sew this binding. The flannel was a little bit trickier. There's more bulk in flannel naturally. It creates more bulk when you're folding things over. And in the area of the handles on the bucket in here, it was this was flannel also. It was thick. You can do a side look through the side here, and you know this was flannel. There's a lot of layers in there, but it's doable. You know, just take your time, go slow. All right, the next thing we're going to do is fold this in half for our binding. So we're going to fold it in half and iron it again. It is very stretchy. All right, it's not going to hold that fold very well, but I don't think I brought my pressing treatment. These designs are too cute to let the binding put you off. And like I said, if anybody can come up with another way to do this, I think it really looks, the binding really sets it off. Okay, so this gets ironed in half. And then we're going to cut one end off, make it straight, and fold it under 1/2 inch. So we're going to take this, and I don't need this big ruler anymore. I need this. Whoops. There went the glasses. Okay, we're going to cut this off. Straight edge. Line it up real good. Make sure it's not crooked. Okay, and then we're going to trim this off, and then you're going to fold 1/2 inch under. So we're going to take this, we're going to fold it 1/2 inch under, and press it again. All right, give it a good press. And we're going to fold it back up, and we're going to start attaching it to our lid. I am going to sew on the front. I'm going to attach to the front first. You do what you're comfortable. Oh, that's turning nice. Okay. I could be really lazy and not lazy. I could be real particular and glue this. Then I don't have to use pins. How about that? So let's pin this. Glue it. From that folded under 1/2 inch, you're going to leave about 1.5 inches let me take that off. Unsewn. because when you work your way around, you're going to take the pointed end of this and insert it into there to finish it off. So we're going to start sewing about there, 1.5 inches away. And I'm going to work on the mat so that I can glue. I can press this glue, get it set. Okay. Let's put some glue here. Yeah, this fabric is really turning nicely. I'm going to heat set that. And it stays. Check it out. Okay, and then a couple more. I might have gotten too close to the antlers there for this binding, but when you're doing these shows, sometimes the pressure's on, and you're not as perfect as you would be at home. Okay, finish gluing this. There's just a couple of seconds that you have to touch it, the iron to it. It dries and adheres very quickly. I mean, look at that, it's perfect. That little dog here, I'm not going to worry about. I don't get sewn in. That's our join. Okay, watch your fingers. We have any questions?
What's your mix for Material Magic and Best Press?
I use Terrio Magic in a spray bottle, half Terrio and half water. I don't really use Best Press. You could. It's all a matter of preference, what you like. All right, and continue your way around. This homespun is really nice.
They love your tips, and you're a great teacher.
Oh, thanks. Hit that with the iron again. Now I'm not going to glue all the way because when I get around to this other end, I want to manipulate it so that this I'm gonna cut this end at an angle and then slip it inside the folded end to hide it. Okay, so I'm going to stop right here and I'm going to go over to the machine. I'm going to cut some of this off. There might be, there probably is enough to do the little handle cutouts on the wrap. But I'm going to, maybe I'll wait. I don't want to cut it too short.
Someone asked, would you use your tiny iron, or would your tiny iron work here?
Yeah, sure. If it gets hot enough, sure. All right, so I'm going to start sewing I'm going to leave about 2 inches of this end unsewn. I think they recommend 1.5 inches. Do whatever, but I want to make sure that I have enough. So I'm going to start about 2 inches away from the folded end, and I'm going to sew 1/4 inch right along this edge. All right. Probably right in that ballpark. I am still at 2.0 length, which is good. I like a nice... And I go slow. Make sure you follow the curve and turn your fabric accordingly. I should have cut that off. I'll ignore it. Just make sure it goes under that little guide so I don't get snagged. I am going to knot this and fit that in and glue it. Did I do this? Okay. Ooh, that's so cute. All right, so let me glue this a little bit further. Pull this over here, and I'm gonna iron it. I didn't have this sitting in the cradle properly, but it's probably still hot from, it stays hot long. Now I'm gonna pull this in, and I'm gonna go ahead and put a couple dots of glue here.
Somebody asked, how was the party last night?
Sophie can attest that it was great, but the after party was better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to take this, and I'm going to cut this at an angle and slide it into this folded piece here. And I'm probably going to go somewhere around here, and I'm just going to follow that right there. And then you're going to open this up, slide this tail in here, get it in there nice and good, and it might take some finessing to make sure that you don't get, I might take a little bit more off, because not that I'm getting bulk, but it doesn't want to fold good. There we go. Let me iron this down. Fold this back. And I'm going to just iron the bottom piece. All right. And then take this, slide it in there. Let me put a dot here and a dot here. And iron that. Okay, and then that goes in there. And this goes up here. And there we go. I'm going to iron this down. Tuck that in a little bit more. It's just playing with it and getting it to set right. And that's what it's all about. You know, it's not everything in quilting is a piece of cake, though we try to make it that way. Now, I'm not going to worry about that sticking out because it's going to be up underneath when I fold this over and sew. Okay, we're done with that. I'm going to come over here and finish sewing this. Figure out where I stopped, way back here. Start up again. There's my foot. I want to go all the way back to where I started. And just, I'm going to go back a couple stitches. Cut it. And there we go. Where are we at on time?
1:34.
Okay. All right, now all you have to do, and for this part, I'm not going to sew this, complete this, because it's relatively simple, but smush this, get it rolled to the back, and make sure that when you do that, that you have enough on the back so that when you stitch in the ditch, you can use your zipper foot too for a stitch in the ditch. Put your zipper foot down and then just click your needle a couple of clicks or however many clicks it takes to the right. So you can run your zipper foot right along there and adjust your needle to stitch in the ditch there, or use your stitch in the ditch foot, which I love. I love the stitch in the ditch. But you've got to make sure that you've got enough folded over to the back so that when you stitch it from the front, you're capturing the back. And I'm just going to clip this. I'm sure you guys can take care of that part of the process yourselves. I think this is so darn cute. I can't stand it. I like October, November, December, January, February. I'm not a real big Valentine-y person, but I like it. I'm probably going to get every month. I love the bunny. I love the June or July one, which is patriotic. It's adorable. I love the whole set. You only need one can. Did we put the cans on?
We did.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you only need one can and just switch them out. Next week, when we do, I'll show you more, we'll get into more traditional binding, doing the corners. Also, when we come back next week and finish the binding on the main wrap part. Okay, so here we go. I love it. It's adorable. There we go. Cute, cute. Okay. Yeah, get focused in there, so. Yeah. Okay, look at how cute that is. I would never think to pair this homespun with this houndstooth. But, I like country looking things. Maybe that's why I like this line so much. It's really country to me. And I love these designs. The bow sole gives it a nice heft. This would really look cute quilted. And I think that I will quilt this before next week. We'll do maybe, well, we could do either the snowman or the Santa. It doesn't matter. If you guys have a preference, let me know which one you'd like to see that we'll do the binding on. But it's cute as a button. We're going to save this piece of binding. We could potentially use it for the binding that we have to cut for the main wrap. So we're, hang on to all of this. We are going to show a couple of things now. Obviously, the kits. The kits are available. You can buy them singly or you can buy the whole year. I do believe that we still have 10% back, but I'm not sure if it's available on the Country Caboodle kits. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. I would guess not, but the rest of the products that we're going to be showing, I'm sure, are available for the 10% back. But this is November's. I don't know if you have, the Cozy Pumpkin Cozy. The Cozy Pumpkin Cozy. Yeah, this is November's. This, I wasn't sure that Gloria was going to get these in. So I ordered mine from my girlfriend's quilt shop. And then fortunately, Gloria did get them in. So I got this right around the time that she got her kits too. So I was able to get this done really quick. This is I love this. I love this design. I love pumpkins. I love the one on the top. The ties are, unique. They're pretty clever. Oh, this is unraveling. They're pretty clever how they get put on, but there is a process with that too, and it's simple. It's not that difficult at all. But there's the November one. The December one is the one that I just did the lid for. It's the Santa and Rudolph and Blitzen. I like that they made Blitzen for the lid and didn't make another Rudolph. But it doesn't matter. They look the same anyway, except for the name, right? Like I said, this felt or whatever they used for the beard and the hat is just, it's really, really pretty. And I think use a little bit of an ecru type thread when you do the stitching in here because it really shows up nice and elevates that.
Can we quilt the background fabric first before the applique?
No, because they advise, well, let me think. No, because you're going to applique just on the fabric when you quilt. You're quilting on the fabric and the bow sole. Okay? So I wouldn't do the quilting first. When you do the quilting, just start at an edge and work your way out. Start at the applique, do an end knot there or a beginning knot and work your way out. That's what I did on the pumpkin. I started at the edge, you know, and just worked my way out. And it goes fast, especially if you follow the lines in the plaid. This houndstooth might be a little more difficult to quilt unless you have used a decorative stitch and use that foot that was in last year's box. I think I might have it here that has the lines on it. This is a cold foot. I don't know if we have this in stock but this is a cold foot. It, you know, you can, has lines on it so that you can space your quilting if you're quilting with a decorative stitch. I like that foot. Okay, where were we? Okay, this is the December wrap with the lid, and this is November's with the lid. I am going to quilt this one because it's easy to quilt, just following the lines in the plaid. I'm going to quilt the lid too, I think. But, you know, if you've got some blush, which I'm sure we all do, on their picture they show the blush on the cheeks. So it's just put a little bit on the tip of your little finger and then just rub it in. You know, it's so cute. Love it. I think those are the 3 designs that we have now.
We have a witch one. Yeah,
we have the witch. That was the October. And I'm not sure if anybody is still interested in that who wants to do a witch. You can buy it. You know, it's next year. I'm sure, you know, there certainly won't be a wasted design. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, where's my glasses? Here. Okay. I'm doing all 12. You know, I just need to tell you that because I fell in love with these designs. Fell in love with them. Okay. What is next, Sophie? Okay, we did this. Oh, this, by the way, let's stay there for a sec. And don't forget, in your kit, you're going to get everything except thread. You're going to get, oh, there's the witch, by the way. Here's the witch. It's adorable. Let me lay it down. Okay. It's adorable. I love the witch. Okay. You get everything in the kit except thread and the bosal and SF101. Those are the only extra things that you need. But they're fun to do. They're so fun to do. Okay, so those are the kits. This is a picture of all of them. If we could do a close-up of this. I love, this is summer, I guess. I love the bunny. That's got the plaid background too. And I love the one for June, April, May, June. It must be, it's July's. Yeah. February's is cute. I love black and pink together. The summery one has watermelon on it. September's has a sunflower. Love it. June just has flowers. May has a basket. Love it. I love them all. Mm-hmm. All right. Next, Creative Grids, the folded corner clipper tool. I have demonstrated this. I need to find where I put mine. It's here somewhere. Yeah, I thought I brought mine. This is a folded corner clipper tool. This is absolutely perfect for making binding. That's what I use it for. I also use it for squares and rectangles that I just need to add a little corner to. If you've got say a 3 by 5 inch rectangle and they tell you to take a 2-inch square and put it in the corner and, you know, sew from corner to corner, you use this tool. It includes the seam. It creates an absolutely perfect piece. When you flip it, you know, when you get that sewn and flipped over, it matches perfectly. I love this. we're going to use this tool also because when I do binding on the corners, and I'll demonstrate this next week, you're attaching your binding, you come to the corner. If you take this, put this edge against the top of your fabric or your binding, flip this over, it gives you that perfect mitered piece, and then you flip your binding over to continue down. I'll show you next week, but this is perfect for flopping in that corner and getting that little section creased over before you continue with your binding. I love this tool. Very versatile tool. The next thing is the Bosel, which we we don't have the single-sided in stock. I'm going to tell Gloria we will have it in stock, I'm sure, shortly. So if you guys want to go ahead and order it, I'll be sure to tell her today. She's over at 300 ordering. So we'll make sure that we get that ordered for you. The next thing on the list is, can we do the Wonder Clips?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do the Wonder Clips. You saw that I used them to hold down the binding on the lid. These are essential. And, if you remember when these first come out, they were like $15 for $10. It was a ridiculous amount of money. What are these at?
$15.90.
Yeah, and look at how many you get. There's 100 pieces in here. Yeah. Very, and all different colors. Screw lid, screw top, so that, you're not losing them everywhere if you have to sock this away somewhere. Okay. The perfect scoring tool is next. You need that for your, I used, I don't know what I used. I guess I used sticky back tearaway. I love this tool. It's in my arsenal. It's in my little peppermint bark tin that I put all my little tools in. I love this tool. It's if I lost it, it'd be replaced lickety split. Love it. Okay. Next is the glue. All right. We have the kit. This is the pressing treatment. We have the acorn. We have the
Pro applicator glue, the one that you were using earlier.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
This one. Okay, is that what's in the bubble?
Yes.
Okay, this is in the bubble. You can buy this by itself. And I don't know if you've got the kit in. Have you got the kit in the? Okay. If you want both the pressing treatment and the glue, buy the kit. The pressing treatment I use every day, every time I piece. I adore it. This pen gets filled with the formula that's in this. There's a nib on the end of it, a little kind of a felty type nib that absorbs the liquid. You run it along your seam, and it creates the most perfect flat seams. There's the glue. We have we have this bottle of glue when this runs out, and we also have the pressing treatment that's available separately too. So if you buy the kit and you run through this, you don't have to buy another whole kit if you want to continue using the pressing treatment. You just buy a refill and continue using this little applicator with the nib on the end. Okay. Next. Oh yeah, the quilt binding foot, absolutely imperative. It should be in everybody's arsenal. This is what it looks like. It has a ridge on the bottom. Okay, the ridge enables you to set the side that's higher on your binding, For instance, if you had binding on this edge here, the foot would go on and ride. This part of the foot would ride on this, which is higher, which is why if you look from underneath, you know, there are different heights on the bottom. Geez, Carol. Okay, there are different heights. Okay. This part rolls on top of here, and then you can adjust your needle. That needle placement, you can adjust your needle and ride right in along the edge of your binding or whatever you're putting on. And the stitching virtually becomes invisible. You don't see it. Love this foot. Okay, next is, oh, the Wahoo Wah. Oh, is that this? Wait, the 12 spool, this one.
No, that's variegated.
Oh. You can't find it?
No.
Take it out.
Okay,
Okay, take it out.
we do have Christmas cheer.
Okay, Christmas cheer. These two sets, Kathy, I asked Kathy about these. I've not used them. She said they are right up there with King Star. The colors are beautiful. That comes in we've got two different sets.
Yes.
Um,
It says on the back.
it says on the
One
back,
of them is Christmas wreath and one of them is North Pole.
yes. No, both of these say Christmas. Oh, wait, white
One
and
of
red.
them's red.
Yeah, this is Christmas wreath. All right, that's cool. There is a kind of a coppery shade. Looks like a penny. There's red. There's a white with gold interspersed through it. There's a beautiful teal and there's silver. Colors are just gorgeous. And then this one is called North Pole. Oh, see, I love this. I love my blues. This has the white with the silver. The other set had the white with the gold. And it has a kind of a royally blue. It has a medium shade of blue. Love that. It's like an aqua. And I'm not sure what color that is. The packaging kind of, I don't know if it's a even deeper blue and then a gold. These are, how much are these? This is 40 weight thread too, by the way. 40 weight metallic with a rayon core. Love it. Okay, what's next?
It's variegated thread.
The boxed or
The box. We can do that.
okay. This is a box of variegated threads. This is sealed, so I can't take them out. But there's an assortment. There's an orange, like a brilliant orange in there that would be awesome for Halloween. There's a lavender. I like this. It's like tie-dye. That's what it looks like to me. All different colors. There's blues. There's kind of a pink and a purple. There's a white down there in the corner, a pink and a white, and, you know, a good stash builder if you like variegated threads. Love it. Okay, next.
The 6 spools.
Okay, I'm not sure. 1, 2, 3. Okay, is this 6 spools? Yeah, this is 6 spools of variegated thread. This plastic bag doesn't do them justice, so we're going to take them out. We've got, this looks to me like a brown and a gray and a white. This looks like Mardi Gras to me. Purple and pink and gold. Okay, this is pink and purple and blue and yellow and green.
Does it say how long those spools are? How much is on there?
No, let me look on the bag here. Wait, the writing is so tiny. Holy cow. No, it doesn't. No, I'm not sure how big. They're probably half the size. Whatever's the exquisite thread, this is probably half of that. I'm not sure how much is on the exquisite thread. Let's see. Here's a spool of exquisite. Here's a spool of this stuff. Exquisite thread has, I don't know. Somebody out there help me. Y'all have 1 km on them? Yeah, they have 1 km on them. Is that 1,000 meters?
Yeah.
Probably 1,000 meters. So these are probably 500 meters because they look to be about half the size of the exquisite if you compare them. Yep. Okay. I don't know if we've gone over all the colors. These are shades of yellow and green. And we did that one. And this is cool. It's yellow and mostly yellows and oranges. There's some blue in there. Cool. Okay. We should sew up little samples of these. You know? Yeah, right. Okay, that's your job. Okay, what's next?
And then we can do the bobbin clamps and then...
Oh, yeah. I saw these and I thought, man, I have to get like 50 of these packages. And I don't need 50, but I need quite a few of these because I do have one of those. It is a bobbin holder, but I think I like this better and then just throw them in a basket. I do have them now thrown in the basket because I took my bobbin holder to the fall event and I haven't put all the bobbins back in it yet. But these, I like these by Nifty Notions. And they come in colors, pink, yellow, and blue. Okay? What's next? We got...
And then I think you can do the King Star.
Okay, the King Star threads.
Yeah.
You know, we all love King Star. This is a Christmas one. It's got the red, the green, the silver, and the gold is MG1. MA3, I don't know what the red is. The labels are kind of stuck together that way, but gorgeous. I love King Star. Tiffany was sewing her bags yesterday. The day before, they were sewing something and had King Star in the bobbin.
Yeah.
And Tiffany didn't realize it, but it's amazing. Can even go in the bobbin. Just go slow. Is this the last thing that we have?
Yep.
And this is my favorite thing. These Formore scissors I adore. And I'll be blunt, I like them better than the snips. You know, especially, I'm working on the OESD houses now, and I have to trim away fabric that has, well, I put 2 layers of SF101 on the back of that fabric, and the snips wouldn't cut that. These snips are sharp. They're tackling that job, and they cut up to the point. They're amazing. But I love these. All right, are we done?
I think so.
Okay, Kathy and Mary Lou will be on at 3 o'clock for some new things, and you're going to love it. I just have to tell you that. I'm not going to reveal anything. Let me think. Tomorrow is my favorite things, and Friday I'll be back with Friday Fabric Frenzy, where hopefully we'll have a lot of Christmas fabric on sale. So thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. Excuse my little boo-boos. You know, we all make them. Next week we're going to do the binding on the wrap, including those little U-shaped pieces, and I'll show you how to do binding, you know, nice around the edges if you guys want to get away from doing wraparound. Never going to happen, right? Yep, I'm old school. All right, thanks, guys. See you later.